Introduction. Dear reader, to know the past is to know the present. To know the present is to know yourself. I write about the history of racism to understand racism today. I want to understand racism today to understand how it is affecting me today. I want you to understand racism today to understand how it is affecting you in America today. The book that you are holding is a remix of my book, Stamped from the Beginning, a narrative history of racist and anti-racist ideas. A racist idea is any idea that suggests something is wrong or right, superior or inferior, better or worse about a racial group. An anti-racist idea is any idea that suggests that racial groups are equal. Racist and anti-racist ideas have lived in human minds for nearly 600 years. Born in Western Europe in the mid 1400s, racist ideas traveled to colonial America and have lived in the United States from its beginning. I chronicled their entire life in Stamped from the Beginning. The novelist Jason Reynolds adapted Stamped from the Beginning into this book for you. I wish I learned this history at your age, but there were no books telling the complete history of racist ideas. Some books told parts of the story. I hardly wanted to read them, though most were so boring, written in ways I could not relate to. But not Jason's books. Not this book. Jason is one of the most gifted writers and thinkers of our time. I don't know of anyone who would have been better at connecting the past to the present for you. Jason is a great writer in the purest sense. A great writer snatches the human eye in the way that a thumping beat snatches the human ear, makes your head bob up and down. It is hard to stop when the beat is on. A great writer makes my head bob from side to side. It is hard to stop when the book is open. I don't think I'm a great writer like Jason, but I do think I'm a courageous writer. I wrote Snap from the beginning with my cell phone on, with my television on, with my anger on, with my joy on, always thinking on and on. I watched a televised and untelevised life of the shooting star of Black Lives Matters during America's stormiest nights. I watched the televised and untelevised killing of unarmed black men being at the hands of cops and wannabe cops. I somehow managed to write Stab from the beginning between the heartbreaking deaths of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin and 17-year-old Darnisha Harris and 12-year-old Tamir Rice and 16-year-old Kamani Gray and 18-year-old Michael Brown. Heartbreaks that are a product of American history of racist ideas as much as a history of racist ideas is a product of these heartbreaks. Mean if for a racist idea, George Zimmerman would not have thought that hooded Florida teen would who looked like LeBron James hip hop and South Park had to be a robber. Zimmerman's racist ideas in 2012 transformed an easygoing Trayvon Martin walking home from the 7-Eleven holding a watermelon juice and Skittles into the menace to society holding danger. Racist ideas cause people to look of the innocent black face and see a criminal. If not for a racist ideas, Trayvon would still be alive. His dreams of becoming a pilot would still be alive. Young men were 21 times more likely to be killed by the police than their white counterparts between 2010 and 2012, according to federal statistics. The underrecorded, underanalyzed racial disparities between female victims of lethal police force may be even greater. Black people are 5 times more likely to be incarcerated than whites. I know math whiz, but if black people make up 13% of the population, then black people should make up somewhere close to 13% of the Americans killed by police, and somewhere close to 13% of the Americans sitting in prison. But today, the United States remains nowhere close to the racial equality. African Americans make up 40% of the incarcerated population. These are racial inequalities older than life of the United States. Even before Thomas Jefferson and other founders declared independence in 1776, Americans were arguing over racial inequalities, over why these exist and persist, or over why white Americans as a group were prospering more than Black Americans as a group. Historically, they have been three groups involved in this heated argument, both segregationists and assimilationists, as I call these racist positions in stamp from the beginning. Think Black people are blamed for the racial inequality. Both segregationists and the assimilationists think there is something wrong with Black people, and that's why Black people are on the lower and dying end of racial inequality. The assimilationists believe Black people as a group can be changed for the better, and the segregationists do not. The segregationists and the assimilationists are challenged by anti-racists. The anti-racists say there is nothing wrong or right about Black people and everything wrong with racism. The anti-racists say racism is a problem in need of changing, not Black people. The anti-racists try to transform racism. The assimilationists try to transform Black people. The segregationists try to get away from Black people. These are the three distinct racial positions you will hear throughout Stamped: racism and anti-racism, and you, the segregationists, the assimilationists, and the anti-racists, and how they each have rationalized racial inequality. In writing Stamp from the beginning, I did not want to just write about racist ideas. I wanted to discover the source of racist ideas. When I was in school and finally reading and learning about racism, I was taught the popular origin story. I was taught that ignorant and hateful people have produced racist ideas and that these racist people have instituted racist policies. But when I learned that the motives behind the production of racist ideas is become obvious that this folktale, though sensible, was not true. I found that the need of powerful people to defend racist policy that benefited them led them to produce racist ideas. And when unsuspecting people consumed these racist ideas, they became ignorant and hateful. Think of it this way: there are only two potential explanations for racial inequality, for why white people are free and Black people are enslaved in the United States. Either racist policies forced Black people into enslavement, or the animalistic Black people were fit for slavery. Now, if you make a lot of money enslaving people, then you're going to defend your business. You want people to believe that Black people are fit for slavery. You will produce and circulate that racist idea and stop abolitionists from challenging slavery, from abolishing what is making them rich, making you rich. You see, the racist policy of slavery arrived first, and then the racist idea followed to justify slavery. And this racist idea make people ignorant about racism and hateful of racial groups. When I was began writing about Stamp from the beginning, I must confess that I had quite a few racist ideas. Yes, me, an African American. I'm a historian of African Americans, but it's important to remember that racist ideas are ideas. Anyone can produce and consume them. As this book shows, I thought there were something wrong with Black people and other racial groups. Fooled by racist ideas, I did not follow or fully realize that the only thing wrong with Black people is that we think something is wrong with Black people. I did not fully realize that the only thing extraordinary about white people is that they think something is extraordinary about white people. There are lazy, hardworking, wise and unwise, harmless and harmful individuals of every race, but no racial group is better or worse than another racial group in any way. Committed to this anti-racist idea of group equality, I was able to discover, self-critique, and shed the racist ideas I had consumed over my lifetime, while I uncovered and exposed the racist ideas that others have produced over a lifetime of America. The first steps is building an anti-racist America is acknowledging America's racist past. By acknowledging America's racist past, we can acknowledge America's racist present. In acknowledging America's racist present, we can work toward building an anti-racist America. An anti-racist America where no racial group has more or less or is thought of as more or less. An anti-racist America where the people no longer hate on racial groups or try to change racial groups. An anti-racist America where our skin color is as irrelevant as the colors of the clothes over our skin. An anti-racist America is sure to come. No powers last forever. There will come a time when Americans will realize that the only thing wrong with black people is that they think something is wrong with black people. There will come a time when racist ideas will no longer obstruct us from seeing the complete and utter abnormality of racial disparities. There will come a time when we will love humanity, when we will gain the courage to fight for equality, society, for our beloved humanity, knowing intelligently that when we fight for humanity, we are fighting for ourselves. There will come a time, maybe, just maybe, the time is now. In solidarity, Abram X. Kendi.